Town Manager, and Linda Savitsky, our Finance Director. And right across the hall, here's as our plan. We're going to start with public comments, where members of the Marlboro community are invited to share their thoughts on the board's budget. Speakers must provide their name and address. And comments are limited to not more than 3 minutes. Please note that the board will not engage in dialogue with the public. Do I have anyone in attendance that would like to speak? Yes, sir.
And good citizen, good citizen. G-O-O-D.
And how about the other one?
I think it's spelled
I think I
citizen.
can spell the second one. Do you have an address or no?
No, I've been in this town for well over 30
Okay, so,
plus years.
okay,
Just want to, in reference to last meeting about the cameras, the speed enforcement cameras, done a lot of research on this. Got some FOIA requests in here. I also reached out to the GFOA about the American Rescue Plan Act, and so far, they're gonna get back to me. They don't see a speed camera on the eligibility list to be using the rescue plan funds for that. They're to upgrade, support the infrastructure of the town, not to videotape them and take their rights away. So before I get into that we'll address that later, but that's it. And a quick note to the meeting minutes from last time, they had said that the construction on South Main had stopped due to winter. It's still going on. It has not stopped. They're doing a great job. That's all.
oh, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good morning. My name is Rick Marini,
M-O,
M-A-R-I-N.
M-A-R-I-N-A.
Aye.
I, M-A-R-I-N-I, and your address?
25 acres.
Thank you.
I guess I'll start by saying I'm kind of flying blind here. So I just learned recently, and I understand just 2 minutes prior to this meeting, there'll be no adjustments made or, to the minutes or the notes. But I was just curious because earlier I saw in the paper, you're having this ARPA meeting. And I was recently in communication with the Killenly Fire Department, who just recently used ARPA funds to purchase brand new radios and what's called a Lucas device, a CPR life-saving device. And we were actually at our department here, the Roy P. Bengal Association Ambulance, we're looking to get a Lucas device. So I was curious as to trying to get our device on that, for the money that's been earmarked for the year. I understand you have till like December 31st to earmark the monies that you're having this meeting about, or the ARPA funding. So our captain is not able to make it because he is sick. He's ill in bed right now. So I brought myself and our lieutenant from the ambulance with me. So I'm not really sure how to go about that. That's why I'm here. I was interested in what the ARPA funding was going to be allocated to, and I know there was an excess that you were looking to discuss today.
For me, what were the radios? What kind of radios?
It's not a radio. That was for Killingley. It was, I don't know what kind of radios. They needed all new radios for their apparatus. And they brought a Lucas 3 device, which
Lucas
is what
3.
I'm interested in, the Lucas 3, which is a CPR device. It's
CPR,
not
thank you.
radios, it's just a life-saving device.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I'm just. Did you say Lucas 3?
Yes, Lucas 3.
Lucas 3, Lucas 3. Okay.
Is there anyone on Zoom?
It's a CPR device. It's not a radio.
Oh, it's a radio. Okay.
Okay, hearing none, we'll go on to our new business.
Well, I'd like to speak. I'm on Zoom.
Okay, Judy, go ahead.
That scared me.
Oh, Judy, give me your name. I know Judy.
Yeah, Lorraine Stimpson,
Oh, I thought it was you. That's okay.
Oh, Simpson. Okay, and your address?
72 Sanger Road. It's Stimpson with a T.
Yes, okay.
Singer.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't usually do Zoom, so I'm just learning how to do this to attend this meeting. I'd like to speak.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so I think it's Dave over there, wondering if you got my email yesterday. The sidewalks on North Main, opposite side of the lake, are not shoveled. So there may be 1 or 2 houses that are following the law, but the rest aren't. And walked yesterday, and I was forced to walk in the road. And there was a gentleman walking on the sidewalk, all snow, all ice. So I'm wondering if that law is going to be enforced with these people. I mean, they should be fined if they're not they're not shoveling those sidewalks, making for safe passage. I know that, it was a holiday, I'll cut some slack there. But my expectation is that those rules are going to be enforced this year. I spent 27 years walking in the road before the new sidewalks were put in. I refuse to do it now. It's not safe. If I fall and crack my head, I'm going to file a lawsuit against the town. I'm just very frustrated. Excuse my tone, but I'm just hoping that the laws are enforced. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else on Zoom? Where are their names being shown? Dave? I don't see them.
It's just up at the top. Ms. Simpson is the only.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, we'll go on to new business, which is to approve use of ARPA funds. David, I'll turn it over to you and Peter.
All right. First of all, thank you for coming in on the 26th of December for this special meeting. I realize that you all have other demands on your time, most, if not all of which are more fun than this. So thank you. As you are aware, all remaining federal American Rescue Plan funds must be committed by December 31st of this year and expended by December 31st, 2025. So that is why we're having the special meeting and not waiting until January. The town of Marlborough has $103,000 of funds remaining. Linda, who is seated to my right, has attended at least one and maybe several very helpful webinars with representatives of the U.S. Department of the Treasury. And they have encouraged recipients to commit funds in excess of their remaining balance in order to give themselves flexibility with respect to change orders as projects are completed. So I am asking that you allocate up to $147,000 with the three motions that are on the page before you. That includes, the first one is for a water treatment system at Firehouse number 2. The second is for renovations at Town Hall and the Senior Center. And the third is sort of in accordion amount up to $30,000 for financial consulting services related to the audit. And the reason that I am doing that is because we don't know what potential contingencies could happen between January 1st and December 31st of next year. Okay. Even though we want to do work at the town hall and senior center, the contractor who is also doing work for dozens of other towns might not be able to complete the entire scope that we hope that they will. And so we would like to have your authorization if we get to the middle of December of next year and we are not able to spend all of the money on projects that we would like to do, then we do have the flexibility to use what the remaining amount up to $30,000 if you authorize it with this motion to pay for third-party consulting services, which we know that we have already used to help us get caught up on our annual audits. So that basically is kind of a flex amount to ensure that whatever happens, we spend everything and are not in a position where we need to give money back. Mm-hmm. Which, frankly, I don't think the U.S. Treasury wants the money back. On these webinars, they would prefer that we not have to do that, and we would also prefer not to do that. So that is the rationale. Committing more than the $103,000 that we actually have, but please know we are not going to spend more money than we have. It's just allowing us the flexibility to respond to circumstances that may arise after December 31st of this year, when we can no longer make a new motion to allocate money.
So if I understand you correctly, you're saying we have to have listed exactly how we want to spend this money by December 31st, but we actually have a year
To
to spend the money.
That
what
is
you're saying.
correct.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
And includes not just this money you're authorizing tonight. But all the projects you previously approved, any fair change, let's call it, it gets swept into
Into this account.
this pot. So this is a very smart thing to do.
Absolutely.
Can I just add two things?
Yes.
One is, having now gone through one of the audits where art money was involved. Secondly, watching all these different workshops that have been put on by the Treasury. The first thing is what the definition of a commitment is. And a commitment means a purchase order, a contract, a formal agreement. It is not the approval of this body. It is the actual issuance of a excuse me, of a formal document that basically sets the money aside. Secondly, what we discovered during the audit process is that the auditors and the federal government are very stringent. You must follow your own rules. So whatever the purchasing restrictions are, whatever any other restrictions are, they have to be followed. We've already run into a little bit of a snag on one of the very early projects. Something was supposed to have been done. It wasn't. It's been rectified in future projects. We're gonna get our hands slapped when the audit comes out. They're not gonna take the money back from us, but the challenge was, how can we commit all these funds by next Tuesday at midnight and also follow all the rules that we have to follow in order to spend this money? We fit into the revenue replacement category because of the amount of money that we got. It's one of the smaller allocations. And because of that, there are virtually no limits on what you can spend the money for.
Okay, thank you.
Could no one from the fire department leadership approached me about, what was the name of this device? The Lucas 3. With the chair's permission, could I ask a question regarding how much those cost and?
Right, and I would like clarification, is this the fire department or the Roy B. Pettengill Ambulance Association? So yes, ask the question.
Okay. Is it the Marlboro Volunteer Fire Department or the Roy Pettengill Ambulance Association that is making the request for the?
David, just 1 second.
Yeah, I've got a question. Should we have the motion first and then discussion, or do you want to have the discussion and then the motion? Because right now we're having the discussion without the motion. How do you want to do this, please?
I think, I think what David is asking for, and I think what I'm asking for, is just simple clarification about this item.
Okay.
Then I'd like to go to our motions and second and so forth and go from there.
And then go into discussion after the motion?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
no problem.
I had the
Okay.
same question
Yes.
as far as cost, so.
So which organization would this be for, and how much does one cost?
So the Lucas 3 device that we were looking at is around $24,000. The Roy B. Pettengill Ambulance Association would be the primary requesting it. However, it is managed by the Marlboro Volunteer Fire Department, so it's a little bit gray area on how it goes through associations, but specifically the association is looking for grant money for it, but unfortunately we haven't been able to secure that. So we were hoping that this funding might be an easier way of getting it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go back to our motions. Linda, may I ask you the question, what we've already approved, all of those items have the proper documentation that we need?
To the best of our knowledge, yes.
Okay, so those are all set.
Yeah, and I mean, this goes way back. I think Peter, correct me if I'm wrong, we're talking about May of
21?
2021.
Anyway.
Yeah, February, I'm sorry, when things started to move. So yeah, and I think the issue that was raised was on the early projects.
So then it's our intent to continue discussion after the motion is made.
We're gonna make the motion to start and then we'll have our
Go back into discussion. Okay.
David, would you prefer that we motion all three or do one at a time?
I would suggest doing one at a time, just to, so that the minutes show,
And there's a paper trail for each one.
yes.
All right, let's look at the water treatment system for Firehouse Two. Do I have a motion first?
I'll make the motion to allocate $23,000 to Firehouse number 2 to, for a water treatment system.
No, second that.
Louise? Peter, can you clarify a little bit about what this water treatment system is?
Currently, there's a high turbidity in the domestic water line. We tested the well source in the inside. The inside's been climbing for the last 3 or 4 years. The well has a much lower level than the inside, so there's an antiquated treatment system there. It needs to be replaced. It discharges into the septic system, which is against the health code. Of course, you don't want to do that because you're pumping salt into your septic system. Just, fail your septic system. So this is to install a new system, pipe through the floor out, and install a galley. If you're familiar with the back of the building where the trooper's office is, there's this little triangle thing of grass.
Yeah.
And there's a stump there, there's a catch basin. We're gonna get rid of that stump. And that's where we're gonna put a little galley system, so they have to core the floor, lay a pipe through, install the new water treatment system. The only thing we have to do on top of this, and I'll work with Joe into our facilities plan, is to replace the water heater. So we just need to replace that.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Dave, maybe you could answer. Would we only have one person bid on it, or did we have several?
Well, I did preliminary, we have several, 3.
Okay,
But I transitioned to putting it into Peter's hands and David's hands. So I think we're gonna start all over again. I think that's the plan, but I did get some independent water people and they came up with, yeah, the system is old and needs to be replaced. And then that's when the dry well came up, where Peter just discussed removing the stuff and putting a galley into that area, so we don't ruin the septic system.
so I may go back, where is the 23,000 enough for what we want to do? And the reason I ask that, sometimes we go into projects, we get halfway through, he goes, oh, we don't have enough money.
I'll do a detailed breakdown of what they're doing. So it's there.
No, we don't have that.
That does sound nice.
And for the seniors, now that we have the new director, which is very exciting.
I'll second that.
Thanks.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve or allocate up to $94,000 of American Rescue Plan funds for renovations at Town Hall and the Senior Center. Those in favor say aye.
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 Unanimous. Thank you. All right, the third on the agenda is up to $30,000 to repay the general fund for financial consulting services. David gave us the explanation before. First of all, I'll entertain a motion for that.
I'll make the motion to allocate $30,000 to the American Rescue Plan to repay the general fund for financial consulting services.
Second.
Please, a second.
I'd just like to thank Karen. Linda.
It's Linda.
That's okay.
I don't
Thank
know
you.
anyone's
Thank you,
name.
Linda.
Yeah, Linda, for your excellent work on following the rules.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And your expertise.
Yeah.
Thank you for all
Right.
that.
Any other questions from the board? All right, those in favor say aye.
I,
That was unanimous as well.
sorry.
Then, even though we were not aware of the request for one of these Lucas 3 devices, if you would like to make a motion.
Add to the agenda.
Well, but,
We got bid.
Want to bid
oh,
it?
we haven't bid it yet. You're
Well,
right.
we may be able to get it off the state bid, that's the
We have
question.
to, we have to search, let's search state bid source well.
I just.
But you have a specific
I just pulled it up on my phone. It looks like it's about $20,000 one.